you want your future, then keep listening. If you do not want your future, leave the room.
So many of you have your mouth way ahead of your actions.
Do you actually want to do this or not? Because if you actually want to do it, what's going to stop you? Nothing.
Now's the time where the talking is done. Now is the moment where you got to make a decision. Are you ready to take the next step?
Regardless of what has happened in the past, today is a brand new day.
Every day say yes to whatever it takes, no matter what.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Whatever it takes, give it everything you got.
So every single day when you wake up, this is what should be on your mind.
Find yourself a mirror and repeat after me. I came to fight. I came to conquer.
I am the creator of my own world.
Because I'm unrelenting. I will not quit.
I'm going to go forward. I'm not going to quit, so I'm going to go forward. Bring it on.
I will be the victorious one.
And I am blessed and unstoppable.
I am an A+ student.
You gotta say to yourself,
it is not a game. It is an opportunity. And only the ones that want it will be the ones that will succeed.
So we discover, we define, we dedicate ourselves. We do what we hate like we love it.
But you're saying, I'm not worthy of the dream. You're probably not, but it's been given to you anyway. It was given to you, and it's now your responsibility to do something with it.
All of the hard work, all of the struggles, all of the mistakes are just a part of your growth. So prove them wrong.
Why sign up every day to the inconvenience? The goal looks sexy, the inconvenience looks costly. But if you sign up for the inconvenience, then the goal will take care of itself.
If you will keep a no excuse mentality, then the sky is not your limit. The sky is your starting point.
it's gonna be tough, but I'm built tough.
No one said it was gonna be easy.
But in the end, it'll be worth it. There are key components and key ingredients in the recipe of a student mentality. Number one, you need to be disciplined. The future is very expensive, and only those who are carriers of discipline can inherit the future. I need you to stay motivated. I don't care if you have to listen to me 1,000 times, I need you to stay motivated. And I need that motivation to mature into discipline. I need you to be self-aware. So I need you to remember that you are always learning. In life, you are always learning. And I need you to believe in yourself. I need you to see yourself capable, lovable, and unconditionally worthy of your future. Turn your pain into progress. I need you to see yourself. See yourself. One of the things that many students lack is vision. You gotta see yourself before you get there. You have to hear yourself telling yourself thank you. I need you to open up your ears. Open up your ears, because the you from the future is telling you thank you. Thank you for not giving up when you wanted to give up. Thank you for not being depressed. Thank you for not allowing the brokenness to eat your progress. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You got this. It's gonna get hard sometimes, I'm telling you right now. It's not gonna be easy, but it's worth it. Maybe you're listening to me right now, you wanna lose weight, or you're trying to pass the final exam, or maybe there's just this feat that seems as though it is impossible. Turn your pain into progress. Turn your pain into progress. I need you to be uncomfortable with average. I need you to be allergic to average. I need you to come to the end of yourself. So many people are depending on you. A student is hardworking. A student is mentally tough. Have the ability to adapt. Have a character, consistency. Demonstrate courage on the daily. Stay motivated. Stay positive. Earn your respect. Have a winning attitude. Breathe, compete, make no excuses, set goals, practice great habits. Stay focused.
You want your future? You gotta outwork everybody on that field. You gotta outwork everybody in the room. You gotta learn how to perform under pressure. You gotta leave it all out on the field. Everybody wants the future, but everybody wants to be average.
There are gonna be times when you feel like you're losing your mind, and you study for hours, and you're gonna take an exam, and you will not pass. A student is resilient. A student is disciplined. A student is committed. A student is consistent, even when they don't want to be. Because the cycle of depression needs to end with you. The cycle of not enough needs to end with you. The lack and the dysfunction and the anxiety and all of these things that your family and your father and your mother have gone through, you have to keep a student mentality. I studied and I failed the exam. I studied and I failed the test. And life is an uphill war, and it is filled with tests and exams and critical moments where you are going to have to dig deep inside of yourself and ask yourself why. Why did you start in the first place? And what was the emotion, the feeling, what was the science and the psychology behind the decision that you made? And 9 times out of 10, I can tell you why you started. You started because you were hungry. Hunger is the feeling of discomfort or weakness caused by a lack of food coupled with a desire to eat. How hungry are you? When you feel like throwing in the towel, when you feel like surrendering everything you worked for, remember why you started. Remember how you felt when you started. You were hungry. When you want to let go, when you want to surrender, when you want to stop, when you're ready to quit, when you have failed and failed again. Let me remind you what got you here. Hunger got you here. A strong desire got you here. You were desperate to break curses in your family. You were desperate to break the cycle of poverty and depression. You were desperate. Hunger got you here. Remember this. Every dream requires discipline. Every dream requires discipline. You can travel the world and study students and their behaviors and their mindsets. There is a science behind achievement. And when you study the most successful students in the world, we find that they are responsible, they are motivated, they are self-managed, they are self-aware. They have a long-lasting student mentality even after they have passed the test. Because they understand that life is a test. And in life, there are ups and there are downs. And so accept the responsibility. See yourself as primarily responsible for your outcomes and your experiences. You are going to need discipline. Motivation will help you get started. But discipline is going to keep you on the road to your destiny. You got to be self-motivated. You got to find purpose in what you do by discovering personally meaningful goals and dreams. If you're going to be a successful student, if you're going to come out on top, you've got to start managing your time. You plan and you take action in pursuit of your goals and dreams. So let me tell you something. Everybody has a dream, but there is a behavior that must follow your belief system. Remember this, behavior follows belief. If you have not been able to change your behavior to match your dream, then you need to go back and examine your belief. Because 10 times out of 10, if you can't change your behavior to match your dream, then you don't believe. When somebody believes, everything changes. The time is coming where you are going to feel like giving up. But you're going to have to remember why you started. You gotta dig deep and learn how to create possibilities for yourself when nobody gives you an opportunity. You have to turn your mess into your message.
This is the time that you must recognize that you have something that is special. And it is time for you to show up and give it everything you have within yourself. You can do all great things within yourself if you just have the faith. You got to be the one to prove them wrong and let the world know that you do matter in this society, that you have something great within you, that you have power, that you have will, that you have strength. Don't accept defeat. Don't accept excuses. Don't accept the fact that you think that you don't have what it takes when you know deep inside yourself you have it.
They didn't realize that every setback of your life, they didn't realize that every bad day of your life, they didn't realize that every sad day of your life, they didn't realize that every so-called failure, disaster, missed opportunity, a tragedy was just a building block of strategy, and the agony, the pain, the heartache, the misery was put in place to give you the strength to rewrite history. Therefore, it should be no mystery when you make a special delivery to the doorsteps of victory.
When the rest of the world shuts you down, you got to be willing to open up your mind and your heart and accept the fact if you're gonna do it, then you got to be the one to do it, and you got to be the one to believe in it. You must understand that we all have unique qualities within us, but we have to apply ourselves day in and day out. Yes, there are people out there right now that doubt you. And no matter how hard you work at your craft, they will still find some fault in you. But when will you begin to realize that all of the hard work, all of the struggles, all of the mistakes, all of the setbacks are just a part of your growth? Maybe everybody is not going to accept you, but can you accept yourself? Can you trust in yourself? Maybe you're going to be the only one left standing, but at least you're standing. And maybe you feel that you're standing alone, but you're really not alone, because you got so many ideas, so much greatness within you right now that is flowing through you right now. So how can you believe that you are alone? How can you believe that all of these things that people have doubted you on, everybody that's been saying that you're not gonna make it, that you can't push forward, that you're not gonna be the best, and you trusted them, and you believed in them. You believed in the answers that they had for you, instead of answering your own question. Am I good enough? Can I be the best of myself? The time has come for you to understand that you cannot depend on the opinions of others. You cannot just trust in the opinions of others. You cannot allow other people to validate you, because you are just who you are. Nobody is gonna be like you. Nobody can be as strong as you. Nobody can walk the walk like you. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you unique. So prove them wrong, but prove yourself to be right.
For so long, you've known you had an inner beast inside, but you were scared to bother it. For so long, you've known you had an inner beast inside, but you were scared to bother it. That's just like planting a seed and then never watering it. Never making sure it's provided with exposure to sunlight, basically just squandering it. But that version of you no longer exists. Because from the depths of your inner soul comes your inner beast, and you are now honoring it. That seed that was planted in your soul has been patiently waiting. That seed that was planted in your heart has been laying low for the perfect time. That seed that was planted in your spirit has been storing energy. That seed that was planted in your mental has been digesting and processing. And when all of these forces came together, they created the perfect storm that set the stage for your inner beast to be born. That set the stage for your inner beast to take form. That set the stage for your inner beast to transform. That set the stage for your inner beast to break through and swarm like a large group of bees. And now you're ready to sting anyone that stands between you and the stamp of greatness needed to make your successful transformation official.
It must happen this way because this is the only way you're gonna know what you must do to get better at whatever it is that you are seeking in your life. No one said it was gonna be easy. In fact, nobody's really gonna hold your hand. But you got to have the ability to hold yourself up. You have to have enough faith within yourself to understand that no matter how far you go in your life, that it's your life that has to be willing to put in the work. You have to be responsible for your life and your efforts. You have to be willing to work diligently. You have to be willing to push forward through all of these unique challenges that you face. You have to prove them wrong and show the righteousness within yourself.
See that desire that's telling you to get up and go do? That's your inner beast. The passion to keep pushing through, that's your inner beast. That voice in your head that's telling you to believe, that's your inner beast. That yearning you have deep inside to achieve, that's your inner beast. The mental toughness to fall down 9 times and get back up 10, that's your inner beast. The resiliency to fight to the end, that's your inner beast. The heart you display to persevere through the dark days, that's your inner beast. The fear you overcame to lead and trailblaze, that's your inner beast.
Then free yourself from doubt. Free yourself from the doubters. Free your mind and accept the fact there's more to you than what you could ever imagine. Don't hold yourself back. Don't cry over everything. Don't be angry, but be a little bit concerned. Be concerned about your well-being. Have a peace of mind in knowing that I just gotta work a little bit better. That I have to give myself a little bit more credit. Instead of pushing myself down to the ground, burying myself because everyone else said that I'm not worthy. My friend, you are worthy. You have uniqueness. You have something that the world has yet to see. So today, ladies and gentlemen, you must celebrate your victories, your setbacks, your failures, and to anyone and everyone that doubted you, prove them wrong and stand tall. Be about your business. Be productive in your life. Never quit. Understand that you matter. And from the bottom of my heart, keep it moving and conduct your business. The greatest competition is you. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Each competition represents something unique. Each competition represents something that is powerful. Now you have to be willing to step up and be prepared to understand that this is work. It is not a game. It is an opportunity. And only the ones that want it will be the ones that will succeed.
What I've been trying to tell you all year when I said you gotta want it as bad as you wanna breathe. Listen to me, you gotta hear what I'm saying. First, what I'm trying to tell you is you gotta have a desire. Like for real, the first thing you gotta have, if you wanna be what you wanna be, have what you wanna have, do what you wanna do, man, you gotta have that desire. You gotta have a hunger. Listen to me. It don't come from without, it comes from within. Only you know what you want. Listen to me. Only you know what you are capable of doing. Only you know what you dream about. Only you know what the next level is for you. So number one, you gotta hear it all year. I've been trying to get this one message across all year. You gotta want it. You gotta want it. There's gotta be a desire. There's gotta be something within you that burns.
Hunger is your internal security guard. And as long as hunger is there, it keeps out intruders. Hunger opens your eyes. Hunger is your driver. Hunger drives improvement. Hunger. You gotta get hungry if you want future. You gotta get hungry if you want destiny. You gotta get hungry if you want connections. You gotta get hungry if you wanna live that higher quality of life. You gotta get hungry, 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 hungry.
And only the ones that want it will be the ones that will succeed. It is gonna hurt you, but it will push you. It is gonna put you in a position where you wanna break down and quit. But we all know that quitting is not an option. If you feel in your heart that you deserve this opportunity, then let it resonate through your veins. Let it flow through your soul. Understand that it takes pure grit, tenacity, passion, and pure focus. This is what you train for. Hours and hours and hours and hours of pain. Hours and hours and hours and hours of sweat. Hours and hours and hours of working hard. Do you give up now? Do you start doubting yourself? What are you afraid of?
And my dream will eventually become my reality if I stay hungry. If you want your future, if you want to fulfill your destiny, then you have to stay hungry. The problem with you is you got satisfied. You got satisfied with what you accomplished. You got satisfied with what you did in the past. If you want your future, then you are going to have to get acquainted with pain, with discomfort, with inconvenience. Because hunger is the only thing that's going to give you the power to persevere through that pain. Never stop climbing the hill. There is always another hill to climb. Go find your hill and climb.
Are you afraid of the man or the woman next to you? Do you feel that they worked harder than you? Do you feel they deserve what you have worked so hard for within yourself? Make no mistake. Don't sleep on your greatness. Don't sleep on those that want to take away what's yours. Just understand this. Doubt, fear, and those that are trying to pull you down won't get you across that finish line. Understand that you got to be the one that wanted the most. If you got up this morning when you are running your race, then be committed to your race. Do not be committed to excuses. Do not be committed to fear. Do not be committed to those that may oppose you. Be committed to crossing that finish line. Be committed to being a champion. Be committed to being a warrior. Be committed to keeping your eyes focused on the prize.
You don't have any limitations. You don't have any boundaries. Your past is your past. And I told you before, you want to go talk about the past, I could go pound for pound with you. I was a high school dropout. You want to talk about the past? We can talk about the past, but my past ain't got nothing to do with my present. This is the only opportunity I got, and I gotta lose myself. Every single day I gotta lose myself in this moment.
When you are hungry, you are creative. When you are hungry, you are innovative. When you are hungry, when you are no longer full, when you are no longer satisfied with where you are and you raise your standards, it is only then that you can have your future. If you can stay hungry, you can get the resources. If you can stay hungry, you can get the strategy. If you can stay hungry, the ideas gonna come. If you can stay hungry, the connections will be aligned. If you can stay hungry. The problem with many of you is that you got full, you got complacent, you got lazy. Somewhere along the line, you lost your enthusiasm, your optimism. You lost your hunger. I'm never full. I'm never full. I'm never full. I'm never full. I have too much to accomplish to be satisfied with where I am right now. I have too much on the line. I have too many people depending on me to win. I must stay hungry.
You have what it takes mentally. You have what it takes physically. You got the heart. You got everything it takes to make it happen. So you gotta stop waiting for circumstances. You gotta stop waiting for situations, man. You gotta catch this last one.
Don't quit on you. Don't quit on this opportunity. Don't quit on your success. Don't quit on being the best of yourself.
The reason why you're so frustrated and angry and bitter is because you're functioning on an old software internally. And life is demanding an upgrade. And you keep pushing off the alarm, saying, remind me tomorrow. It's time for the next version of yourself. Snap out of it. You're gonna have to sacrifice who you used to be. Sacrifice is what's gonna get you in the door. Sacrifice is what's gonna have you seated at the table. College is not high school, and the real world is not college. And so you can't keep showing up the old version of yourself. And so you gotta learn how to sacrifice your time. You gotta sacrifice. When you wanna sleep, you have to wake up. When you wanna watch that movie, you gotta read that book. If you want the future, you gotta sacrifice your time. Time, where we spend our time is what we value most. Get out of this 30-day mentality and commit for the rest of your life. I need you to get out of your comfort zone. You can't be successful with the companion of comfort. Comfort and success cannot walk together. Boss up and admit that you are afraid. You are afraid to fulfill destiny. You are afraid to manifest. You are afraid to evolve. You are afraid to give it everything you have because you are afraid that people will reject you. You are afraid to change. You are afraid to move. Boss up and admit that you are afraid. And I'm just believing that today is the day that you break through. I need you to tell yourself, I am not afraid. I am not afraid of pursuing my objectives. I am not afraid of focusing. I am not afraid of sacrificing. I am not afraid of giving it everything I have. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what I'll look like. I'll look crazy if I have to fulfill my destiny. This is my time. Late nights, early mornings, sometimes no friends, no family. I don't know what your sacrifice is. You just may have to give everything you have. But in the end, it'll be worth it. The future is very expensive. I don't know what it is that you want to do, but everybody's got something they want to do. Everybody's got something they want to become. Everybody's got somewhere they believe they've been destined to go. And oftentimes we don't hit these targets. because we're not considering the cost. Then I just want to share with you things that you need to start sacrificing right now. Number one, your time. You got to get used to sacrificing your time. If you're going to achieve it, if you're going to become it, if you're going to go somewhere, then you're going to learn how to have to sacrifice your time. You can't have the future and you don't know how to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. You can't have the future. You will not be able to manifest if you're sleeping when the world sleeps. So you got to learn how to get up when everybody's sleeping. You only have 24 hours in a day. You got to learn to manage the time that is given to you. This means that you can't binge watch your favorite television show every day. This means that you can't be on social media every day. This means that you can't do whatever you want all day and think you're going to manifest and become this person and achieve this feat. It's not going to happen. Number two, you got to surrender comfort. I need you to get out of your comfort zone. If you're going to be successful, if you're going to achieve it, if you're going to become it, you've got to break out of your comfort zone. Some of you have financial goals, you have relational goals, you have health goals, but you're comfortable. You're comfortable in the current toxic relationship you're in. You're comfortable being overweight. But I'm just wondering if there's anybody that's listening to me that's just flat out tired of being comfortable. Number three, past versions of yourself. There is an irritation, there is an anguish and a pain that we all carry when we show up in a new season, the old version of ourselves. Every season requires a new version of yourself. Another version of discipline and focus and intentionality. So you got to sacrifice the old you. I know you keep celebrating small wins and what you accomplished 5 years ago, 2 years ago, what you did in high school. I need you to find a mirror and I need you to say goodbye to the old version of yourself. In the next 3 to 6 months, you're going to make you proud. The next thing that's got to go is fear, pride, and ego. For many of us, fear is disguised as rational and practical. And fear is disguised as a planning agent. I'm just planning out the process and I'm just gonna wait. I'm just kind of walking myself through everything and processing everything. And so fear disguises itself as process. And I'm talking to you. I need you to find a mirror and I need you to bind up the spirit of fear. And I need you to tell yourself, I am not afraid. I am not afraid. If you were to ask me, what do I fear? I don't fear starting. I fear never starting and sleeping on my potential. I'm terrified of not manifesting and becoming the version of myself I was destined to be. So the next thing you're gonna have to sacrifice is that vice. Now listen, I don't know what your vice is. If you're trying to lose weight, your vice could be ice cream, chips, cupcakes, cookies. If you're trying to be financially fit, your vice could be splurging on clothes and entertainment and food and recreation. Sometimes you're gonna have to surrender that month, that quarter, that year. It takes a lifetime of discipline. Can you surrender what you have possessed? Can you surrender what is possessing you? Some of you are possessed by social media. It's no longer a servant, it is a master. Social media is a beautiful servant, but it is a terrible master. Can you surrender social media? Can you surrender your time? Can you surrender yourself? Can you surrender your mind? Can you surrender your will? Can you stop choosing what's killing you? If you're going to achieve it, if you're going to manifest, if you're going to do this thing, then you're going to need some stamina. Come on, believe it. Come on, you got to start speaking that stamina over your life, speaking that endurance over your life. Believe it, believe it. If you're going to be extraordinary, and you can't make ordinary sacrifices. There are levels to sacrifice. There's sacrifices that everybody makes, sacrifices in every scene of our lives. And then there are some extraordinary sacrifices. You can't have the future if you can't surrender something that's no longer serving you. You cannot manifest. You cannot become the next version of yourself. You cannot experience a higher quality of life unless you sacrifice. There are some things that you love too much. There's some people that you've kept in your life. They are toxic. They add no value. They are no longer serving your vision. It's time for the next version of yourself. Snap out of it. This version of you is not going to carry you in this next season. You're going to have to sacrifice who you used to be.
So what advice do I have for college graduates? Certainly, I'd invite you to apply for a job at SolarCity or Tesla or SpaceX. And if not, then if that doesn't work for whatever reason, then apply to jobs at other companies in that arena, or try starting a company. If you study engineering and you figure out how to design new things, then it's relatively easy to start a company. You just need to get a few like-minded people with you. Although I have to say that the space business is quite hard to start a company in the space business because it's such a capital-intensive business. So it may be better to do something in solar power, or if you're going to do it in cars, do it as kind of a component supplier for cars or something like that.
Musk has college degrees in business and physics, but SpaceX is his first venture in aerospace.
How did you get the expertise to be the chief technology officer of a rocket ship company?
I do have a physics background. That's helpful as a foundation. And then I read a lot of books and talked to a lot of smart people. Don't just follow the trend. You may have heard me say that it's good to think in terms of the physics approach, or first principles, which is, rather than reasoning by analogy, you boil things down to the most fundamental truths you can imagine, and you reason up from there. And this is a good way to figure out if something really makes sense, or if it's just what everybody else is doing. It's hard to think that way. You can't think that way about everything. It takes a lot of effort. But if you're trying to do something new, it's the best way to think. And that framework was developed by physicists to figure out counterintuitive things like quantum mechanics. So it's really a powerful method.
And I want to know, what is the one thing that has surprised you about your life?
Well, I'm surprised by the whole thing, honestly. I certainly didn't expect for any of these things to happen, honestly. Yeah, I just knew I knew I wanted to be involved in technology, and in fact, the only reason I started a company back in '95, an internet company, was because I couldn't get it. There were only a few internet companies, and I couldn't get a job at any of them. So I tried to get a job at Netscape, and sent my resume in and tried hanging out in the lobby, but I was too shy to talk to anyone. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to start a company because I can't get a job anywhere.
Thank you.
I wouldn't say I'm fearless. In fact, I think I feel fear quite strongly. But if what we're doing is, what I'm doing is, I think, is important enough, then I just override the fear. Mm-hmm. So, but it's not as though I don't feel. I feel like more strongly than I would like. I think also people tend to overweight risk on a personal level. It's one thing if you've got, a mortgage to pay and kids to support, and that if you were to deviate from your job, how are you going to feed your family and pay the rent? And okay, that's understandable. But let's say you're young and you're just coming out of college or coming out of high school or whatever. What do you risk? You're not going to stop. I mean, right. It's really certainly not in any kind of modern economy. It's so easy to earn enough money just to live somewhere and eat food. I don't know what are they afraid of? They're mostly afraid of failure, I think. people should be less risk averse when there's not much at risk. What is education? Like, you're basically downloading data and algorithms into your brain. And it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education. Because like, it shouldn't be like this huge chore. Like, the more you can gamify the process of learning, the better.
I was at sort of a slight existential crisis because I was trying to figure out what does it all mean? Like, what's the purpose of things? And I came to the conclusion that if we can advance the knowledge of the world, if we can do things that expand the scope and scale of consciousness, then we're better able to ask the right questions and become more enlightened, and that's really the only way forward.
What drives you? What is it that when you wake up in the morning, do you see a problem and you want to solve it?
The thing that drives me is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. That we're doing what we can to have the future be as good as possible. To be inspired by what is likely to happen, and to look forward to the next day. So that's what really drives me, is trying to figure out how do we make sure that things are great and going to be so, and that's the underlying principle behind Tesla and SpaceX. Is that I think it's pretty important that we accelerate the transition to sustainable generation and consumption of energy. It's inevitable, but it matters if it happens sooner or later. And then SpaceX is about helping make life multiplanetary. And doing what we can to continue the dream of Apollo, and ultimately make a contribution to life becoming multiplanetary.
Well, let's talk a little more about that. I think everyone's very interested in that when you say making life multiplanetary.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It is exciting. So what's your vision there?
I think, particularly for Americans, like, you think about America is a nation of explorers. People came here from other parts of the world that, chose to give up the known in favor of the unknown. So I think exploration, I think the United States is a distillation of the human spirit of exploration. So that's why it appeals to Americans so much. You can see this when, say, there was a shuttle tragedy, and 7 people died, and that's terrible. But a lot of people die all the time. But why do we care so much? Because it was the dream of exploration that was dying along with those people. That's why. I thought both Tesla and SpaceX would fail at the beginning.
You saw it?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Of course.
But nevertheless, you put all your money in that.
I expected to lose it. Well, technically, what I thought was, well, I'll take half the money from PayPal, and if I lose half of it, that's okay. But then, of course, the companies encounter difficulties, and then have a choice of either let the company die, or put, all the money into the companies. And so I really didn't want the companies to die, so I put all the money in the companies.
Yeah.
And then I had to borrow money from friends to pay living expenses.
Yes.
It's just looking just for evidence of exceptional ability. And if there's a track record of exceptional achievement, then it's likely that will continue into the future. Well, it really depends on the stakes. If the stakes are high, if it's really important, then I will overcome the fear and just do it anyway. But essentially, I just drive overrides fear, but I feel the fear. It's kind of annoying. I wish I didn't.
Okay.
I wish I felt it less.
The simple thing is this. See, if your joy, your sadness, your happiness, your misery is determined by something or somebody around you, the chances of you being joyful in your life is remote.
For every one of you, your life is precious, isn't it? It's a precious life. If something is precious, where do you want to invest this life? Into what do you want to invest this precious life? If this is a worthless life, throw it somewhere. If this is a precious life, what do you want to invest this life into? If you look at it this way, you will find something truly worthwhile to do. If you think in terms of how to earn a living, how to get this kind of thing, that kind of thing, then you will do something silly that you will regret for the rest of your life. Most people are a regret. That's why they're going around joylessly, because they're not doing what they want to do. They are not creating what really matters to them. They're doing something for a living. Earning a living is not a big deal for a human being. Every creature, every worm, insect, bird, animal is earning their living, isn't it so? With such a big brain, what is a big deal about earning a living?
See, your ability to do things is not because you want to do things. I want to do something is my desire. Desire is just an intention. An intention won't make things happen. An intention will only set direction. Still you have to make the journey. We become too goal-oriented. Goal-oriented means we are interested in the consequence, but we are not interested in the process. Process is an end in itself. If you are absolutely devoted to the process, something will come out. But now we are interested in the consequence, not in the process. This goal-orientedness, I want to get there, I want to get there. No, I want to win the race. See, if you treat life as a race, if you have to win it, you have to get to the finish line soon. You want to? If you get to the finish line ahead of all these people, you won the race. You know what the finish line is? We'll be negotiating where to bury you. If you go outside in the garden and try to catch an ant who is born here, who's grown up here and probably he'll die here, if you try to catch him, he'll say, okay, crush me if you want. Is it so? He'll do everything to protect himself. He values his life, isn't it? Very much or no? Tiny little creature that we may not even notice, we may step on him without even seeing him, unfortunately. But he values his life immensely. Does he or no? He's got spark. But you, a human being, at least on this planet, you're the peak of evolution, physiologically at least. What the most evolved creature on the planet means is, it has the most complex neurological system and it has the highest level of cerebral capability. That means you can think, you can remember, you have memory. You have a very vivid sense of memory and a fantastic sense of imagination. An ant doesn't have such a vivid sense of memory, nor does he have any great imagination. He has some, but he has a presence of mind about the life that he is living. Because the education systems that you're going through right from kindergarten level is such that it is about everything except you. Somebody is PhD in tourism, somebody is PhD in biotechnology, somebody is PhD in something. Nothing about this. How does this function? There is no attention at all. A human being exists in 3 times. He lives because of the richness of his memory. The present experience is important, and how vivid is your imagination for tomorrow is very important. Right now the problem is, these things have all gotten mixed up because discipline of faculty has simply not come. If you're postponing something, you're obviously doing something that you don't want to do. If there is something that you really want to do, will you postpone it or prepone it? Do you see somebody is waiting for someone they badly want to see? Only 10 minutes. In the 10 minutes, they will look at the watch 25 times. Why? They want to prepone it. You're doing something that you don't want to do, so you want to postpone it. I'm asking, why are you doing something that you don't want to do? No, because if I do this, I will get that, I will get that. That's not the point. It doesn't matter what is your level of intelligence, what is your level of capability, introvert, extrovert, this, that, doesn't matter. Do you have the courage and commitment to make the possibility into your reality? That's all the questions. What is it that you're going to create? This precious life, where are you going to invest it? Are you going to invest it in something that's truly worthwhile, or are you going to throw it away as a worthless thing? This is the important thing, because what you call as my life is just a certain amount of time and energy, isn't it? As you sit here, your life is ticking away or no? You're young, you may not be thinking like this, but actually it's ticking away. What is ticking away is not time, what is ticking away is your life. So this energy that you call as my life, how are you going to invest it? Because if you're doing something truly worthwhile, it gets over before you know what happened. Only if you're doing something worthless, it feels like a long life. Something that happened 10 years ago, you can still suffer, isn't it? Huh? Something that may happen day after tomorrow, you already suffer. What happened 10 years ago or even 10 days ago, does it exist right now? Does it exist right now? No. What may happen day after tomorrow, does it exist right now? No. So if you suffer something that does not exist, should we call you sane or insane? Success means what? I made it. What did you make? I bought a house site. You think that's an achievement? I got a job, I made this much money. It's a very constipated way of looking at life. I want young people to look at it in terms of how we can do something that cannot be done in this lifetime. Oh, what will happen if I don't fulfill it? If you worked incessantly and still at the end of your life the job is not done, it doesn't mean you're a failure, it means you had a great vision. That's what it means.
I need you to think about your dream. That big life dream.
The people who dream and those people who dream big have a different kind of life than the people who don't dream.
A winner is a dreamer who never gives up.
Dreams require sacrifices. Like, my city's expensive, move. My car payments are high, sell your car and take the bus. This is dreams we're talking about. We're talking about dreams.
Whether it's fear or anxiety, whatever it may be, I believe that every single person who's going out to chase their dreams has those voices in their head. I think it's part of the human experience.
Stop downgrading your dream to fit your reality and start upgrading your conviction to match your destiny.
Stay strong, have faith, keep pushing through. I've said this before, and I'm living proof of it, is that on the other side of your struggle is something good. On your other side of your struggle is something better. On the other side of your struggle is some sort of success.
Why would you waste 1 second doing something that wasn't progressing your dream?
Go after this thing called life. Don't look back and have regrets. Understand that you're at a place and a position right now when hard work and valuing people, nothing can stop you, I promise you.
See, your dream will cause you to go insane because what you want, it hunts you every single night. See, the big dogs, they won't give you the opportunity. You're gonna have to take it.
I need you to remember your destination.
You don't realize your dreams are so important because your DNA, who you are as a person, is wrapped up in your dreams.
No matter what happens, you will not quit because quitting is not an option because you have a why, you have a passion, you have a purpose.
I have a dream.
Your DNA is in your dreams.
Be the example for the crazy dreamers in this world.
You have got to make a declaration that this is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. You want it, and you're going to go all out to have
it. What you want exists. Don't settle until you get it. You need to use guilt as your fuel. You need to start feeling guilty when you're not achieving or striving towards your dream. You can use the people that doubted your dream as motivation. When your dreams are dying and when you don't have enough strength to go on, I need you to stop the procrastination. I need you to let go of all limitations.
So I'm here to tell you today that you can have anything you want, be anyone you want, but you're gonna have to work.
See, dreams, aspirations, they're not easily obtained. But one of the hardest things to do is to keep going, is to keep chasing.
People will give up their dreams for certainty. But I'm telling you that your life will start to change when you become more committed to your dreams than your comfort zone. Stop being pushed around by the fears in your mind and start being led by the dreams in your heart.
This is your moment. And you gotta look in the mirror and believe that.
Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship.
So take advantage of today. Take advantage of tomorrow. Take advantage of every opportunity that you have to do what you want in life.
Life's too short to be working on someone else's dream. And I know it's difficult to follow your dreams, but it's even worse if you don't. You have to find a way to build your own dream, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. If you give up on your dream, what's left? Because the people who accomplished their dreams in this world stopped telling people about them and started showing them. They never once gave up on a dream just because of the amount of time it took to accomplish it. No, they knew that the time was gonna pass anyway. Every single successful person that accomplished a dream will tell you that as soon as you truly start pursuing your dream, your life wakes up and everything has meaning. You need to know without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to happen. And when you believe wholeheartedly, then there's no need to call it a dream.
The people that are running after their dream know they're going to have hard times. They keep on running because they're saying within themselves, I'm the one, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it.
It's simple. You either change your dreams or enhance your skills. The amount of work is the same. Every person that did incredible things in this world had to dream crazy, dream big. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Create it. You are your only limit. Your potential is endless. Go do what you dreamed you could do. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Don't worry about failure. You only have to be right once. Because when something is important enough, you do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. You gotta stop believing in the doubters and start believing in your abilities. You've got hate? Use it. Put in the extra hour, fueled by the anger you have for not achieving your dream.
Keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Are you tired? Think of all the people that are counting on you when you succeed. I believe that every person has the ability to flip a switch inside their mind and say, it's go time. I'm not holding back. No matter what it takes, I will do what I say. This time, it's different. I've caught the fire. I'm ready to go. This year is my year. There's always another skill. There's always another challenge. And your dream needs to be stronger than your excuses.
If you do not do what you're doing right now well, your goal is just going to be a fancy desire, isn't it?
Because you will feel defeated at times. You're going to want to give up, but you have to start doing things that you didn't know you could do. Staying in your comfort zone never does anything for you. Because even if you think you're out of your comfort zone, there's always another level. Show the world how bad you'll fight to be in the winner's circle. If you can't find the key to your dream, then pick the lock. Either you find a way to accomplish your goal or you make one. If you fight your limitations, you get to keep them. If you're not getting the results you want from your dream, then examine your motivation. Give yourself something to work towards constantly. Take charge of your emotions. Don't let someone else choose them for you.
It's time to ignite the dream. It's time for you to stop settling for just money and really open your game up.
All you have to do is know where you're going, and the answers will come to you. Forget the past mistakes, forget the failures, forget everything except what you're going to do now and do it. It's taken me my entire life to understand it's not necessary to know every single detail and to stop testing the waters and just dive in. You're gonna get judged regardless of what you do. Expect the best, plan for the worst, and prepare to be surprised. Big results require big ambitions. It's tapping into your own emotions and letting them drive your dream.
Talent does not win championships. Work ethic does. We watch those who work. We're motivated by those who work, but we never put in the work. And so if there's anything that's broken in you, 9 times out of 10, it is the law of application. It's not really ringing true in your heart. You're still in your feelings, you're still in your emotions, you're still locked in your paradigm of preferences. And the moment that you break free and stop doing what you feel like doing and do what you must do to get the job done, and at that point only will you be able to see the future. The future is going to cost you everything. Mr. X is whatever success looks like for you. Mr. X is a portrait, a picture, an example of whatever it is success means to you. And I want to be the first to tell you, if you didn't know, the elevator doesn't go to the top. You cannot take the elevator to the top. You might get to the 20th floor, you might get to the 30th floor, but you're not going to get to the 40th floor or whatever floor your success is on taking the elevator. At some point in time, you're going to have to take the stairs. And so the moment that you start to take the stairs, boom, that's when the adversity hits. You got to be willing to take some no's. You have to be willing to get rejected. You have to be willing for people to lie on you. You have to be willing to be dragged through the mud and through murky water. You can't take the elevator to the top. At some point, you got to take the stairs. And when you take the stairs, you're going to learn a lesson that the elevator could never teach you. Rejection does something to you. Hardship does something to you. Conflict does something to you. The elevator can't teach you the lesson that the stairwell teaches you. But I bet you this, by the time you get to that 40th floor, by the time you shake the hand of Mr. X, you will be prepared to sustain what you worked for. Everybody always talks about getting to the top. Everybody always talks about going after their dream. But nobody talks about retention. And the work that is required not only to get there, but to stay there and go to the next level. And so the mentality you're going to have if you're going to win, if you're going to conquer your day, conquer your week, if you're going to win the year, I need you to remember that talent does not win championships, work ethic does. Here's the mentality you're going to need. That nobody's going to outwork you. I'm sorry, I love you, but you're not going to outwork me. I'm with you, but you're not going to outwork me. We're connected, but you're not going to outwork me. We can dream together, we can lean in together, but you're not going to outwork me. We may be in the same class, but you're not going to outwork me. Number one, I need you to have the made up and fully persuaded mind that nobody is going to outwork you. Stop sitting around moping and complaining and waiting for somebody to connect the dots for you. Put the work in and take the stairs to the top. Ask yourself the question, what are you known for? I need you to become notorious for service, notorious for work ethic, notorious for finishing what you start. You got to be willing to lose sleep to go after this dream. You have to be willing to lose sleep to graduate. You have to be willing to lose sleep to pass the exam. I need you to have a whatever it takes mentality. If you want to win, you're going to have to get upset sometimes. And I'm not talking about a non-productive anger. I'm talking about a massively productive disappointment. You're going to have to get disappointed sometimes with where you are. This is what I like to call proactive disappointment. I'm upset with where I am. I'm upset with what I have not accomplished. I'm upset at every time I've allowed myself to be distracted. Get upset. Get disappointed with yourself. You're upset with the moments in your life where you allowed yourself to sink into depression, where you allowed yourself to become distracted. Get upset. Get flat out mad about where you are. Don't get mad to quit. Get mad to keep going. That's the problem, is that you have to rewire and redirect your anger. I'm not going to be upset and quit. I'm going to get mad and stay in it. From this moment on, I need you to give it everything you have. Show up and play at the highest level of yourself every single time. If you're going to put the work in, if you're going to give it everything you have, all the blood, all the sweat, all the tears, give it 1,000%. This is the only way you are going to make it to the top. You're going to have stairs called confusion. You're going to have stairs called rejection. You're going to have stairs called misunderstanding. But keep climbing. You're going to have sabotage and betrayal, and people are going to lie to you, and people are going to give up on you, and people are going to write you off. Listen to me. Before you get to the 40th floor, people will write you off. People will count you out. But I need you to climb every stair, every obstacle that stands in your way, because when you get to the top, you're going to meet Mr. X. And after you meet that X, it's going to be another X. Whatever your X is, define your X. You got to be willing to be punctual. You have to be disciplined. You got to be the first to get there and the last to leave. You have to invest your time wisely. I need you to maintain a balanced lifestyle. You have to develop a hunger for mentorship. You need to develop a hunger for wisdom. You need to develop a thirst for correction and constructive analysis. You need to stop having a problem with being corrected. So my budget for empowerment and education must exceed my budget for entertainment. You may be discouraged, but work. You may be tired, but work. You may be overwhelmed, but work. People may have doubted you. People may have written you off, but work. You may not feel qualified, but work. You may feel underestimated, overlooked, and undervalued, but work. If you want to win, you have to work. You gotta work with tears in your eyes. You gotta work when nobody understands why you're working so hard. You gotta work when you don't feel like it. And one of the things I need you to do from this moment forward is to get out of your feelings. Because if you only work when you feel like it, you won't get much done. Destiny is not about how you feel. Destiny is what you're called to do. It's what you are anointed to do. It's what you are assigned to do. It is an appointment that none of us can afford to miss. Accept the fact, whatever you're going to accomplish, it is going to require hard work.
Here's the thing. If you want your future, then keep listening. There are going to be days where you're going to be so inundated with responsibility and you are going to want to completely let go of the vision, of the dream. And as bad as you want to hold it in your hand, you're going to want to let go of it all and quit. And I don't care if you have to listen to me 10,000 times. If you have to listen to this in your sleep, write it down, read it every day until the dream becomes a reality. This is the power of discipline. The race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but it is he that endures to the end. They say that discipline is doing what you hate like you love it. For some of you, it might be reading. For some of you, it might be exercising. I don't know what it is that you hate, but do it like you love it and do it daily. In order to understand discipline, discipline is revealed in our daily routines and rituals. Discipline unfolds. If you want your future, you have to cross the bridge of discipline. If you want to get out of the room of ordinary, you have to go through the door of discipline. If you want to dig yourself out of murky, muddy water, if you want to claw your way to the top, you are going to have to climb the wall of discipline. There is no other way. I need you to tell yourself right now, there is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. The future belongs to the discipline. Discipline is found in our daily routine, our daily rituals. You may use discipline on occasion, but you're not disciplined. And there's a difference between having discipline and being disciplined. When you have discipline, you're selective. When you have discipline, you're conditional. It depends on how you feel. When you are disciplined, how you do anything is how you do everything, and everything you do, you show up at 1,000%. Everything you do, you execute with a spirit of excellence. That's what discipline looks like. Seize the moment. Lean into now. See the power, the beauty, the brilliance, the privilege in now. There are people who are dead and gone and they will never be back. And if they can come back, they would kill to live your now. So be thankful for now. Love your now. Number one, you're going to have to discover or define in your head what success looks like for you. Because success is not completely wrapped up in what your mom thinks or what your dad thinks or what anybody else thinks.
Success is wrapped up in this truth. What do you believe you are destined to become? What do you believe you are destined to do? So you need to get crystal clear on what that looks like for you. Because it may not look like it did for your sister, your brother, your mom, your auntie, your uncle. What does it look like for you? Define it. Some of us don't have a defined purpose. And this is why everything we do is random. This is why you can waste 2 hours on the internet doing nothing. This is why you waste time, because our purpose is not defined. Our future, we're not crystal clear on our future. Once we discover and we define what does success look like for me, what does the future look like for me, once we're crystal clear on that, we got to discover, we got to define, we got to get dedicated. We got to do those things that we hate like we love it. A wise man once said, conquer yourself. This is wrapped up in dedication. We have to get dedicated. Conquer yourself. Once you've unlocked those daily routines, those daily rituals that you stay committed to, the game's gonna change. The only way you're gonna get dedicated is if you eliminate all distractions. And you gotta be so dedicated that every distraction gets blocked out. You gotta learn how to turn your phone off, turn the technology off. When the speech is over, when the moment is done, when the song and the dance has ended, you gotta learn how to eliminate all distractions. Who are you with? That is a distraction. Where do you go? That is a distraction. So there's who's and there's what's and there's where's that are distractions in our life, and we have to identify them and eliminate them. This is the only way we stay dedicated. Look, go find a mirror and look in that mirror and say, motivated, dedicated, motivated, dedicated. So we discover, we define, we dedicate ourselves. We do what we hate like we love it. We conquer ourselves. We identify and eliminate all distractions. And so now you're gonna have to have some perseverance. We talk about perseverance, we're talking about persistent, we're talking about pressing and pushing towards something despite difficulty, despite delay, despite distractions, despite the doubters, despite the naysayers. This is somebody who perseveres, who has an unwavering tenacity to achieve what it is that they see in their head. You gotta learn to love where you are. Disciplined people are people that have an aim. They have a target. But they are also a people that understand the beauty, the brilliance, and the power of now. You gotta learn to love now. When we talk about being disciplined, it is somebody that has an objective. Yes, it is somebody that has an end game, a goal, an aim, a target. But a disciplined man or woman learns to love now. You may not be there, but you love who you are becoming. You enjoy, you enthusiastically engage in the everyday grind, and you love the lessons that you're learning. You may not be there yet. It's still in sight, it's still on the horizon, but you are ecstatic and elated about the lessons you are learning on a daily basis. You gotta love the fact that you may be a D, a F, or a C student, and you know you were designed to be an A+ student, but you gotta learn to love yourself right where you are. You may not have it yet, you may not see it all yet, you may not have the full support system, you may not even understand completely where God wants to take you. But if you would just love your now, this comes with gratitude, appreciation, a heart of thanksgiving for now. Hear truth. You will never be here again. The age that you are, the place where you are, the connections that you have, this very moment, we will never be here again. Seize the moment. If I were to give you one last piece of advice, remember this last point. Now that you're crystal clear on where you're going, who you believe you've been destined to become, what you believe you've been destined to do, you need to fix your eyes on somebody who's already done it. And so you've got to be surrounded by a multitude of counsel and mentors and coaches and people that will provoke you and agitate you to greatness. And so if all of your friends are beneath you, if you're the smartest person in the room, you've already lost. If majority of your network is a distraction, you're bankrupt. If everybody's language is you work too hard, you read too much, you care too much, you're doing too much, it doesn't take all that. Your relationship landscape is bankrupt. It's time to get out of debt. It's time to get out of debt. Eliminate distractions. Love your now.
I'm going to talk to you about some things I've learned in my journey. Most from experience, some of them I heard in passing. Many of them I'm still practicing, but all of them I do believe are true. Now, they may be truths to me, but don't think that that makes them mine, because you cannot own a truth. So please think of these as signposts, approaches, paradigms that give some science to satisfaction. They're yours to steal, they're yours to share, liken to your own lives, to personally apply in your own lives, in your own way, should you choose to. So, here we go. Unbelievable is the stupidest word in the dictionary. It should never come out of our mouths. Think about it. To say, oh wow, what an unbelievable play. It was an unbelievable book, an unbelievable film, an unbelievable act of courage. Really? It may be spectacular, it may be phenomenal, most excellent or outstanding, but unbelievable? Give others and yourself more credit. It just happened, you witnessed it, you just did it, believe it. Give your obstacles credit.
You know, once you do find your frequency on something, go forward if you're a non-tyrant and don't ask permission. And that's the not giving a damn part. I've found that the world will actually acquiesce and go, yeah, I'll give you a green light on that. If you actually go forward and mean it, you're gonna do it by hook or by crook and not ask permission.
Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it and get on with it. And yes, most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them.
Sit here in that discomfort long enough to go, okay, until you come out the other side to go, all right, I'm good with me again. I don't want to leave a place I traveled to until I get to the point of going, I could live here. This could be my existence. And as soon as I get to that point, then I'm like, okay, you can go. Now I can go. That's the same thing in the personal journeys. Stick with it till you get through the discomfortable to uncomfortable times, until you go, you know what? I can spend time with myself. I could do this. I could do this forever. Well, then it's okay to go re-engage, pick up your phone, go see your friends, go have a drink, what have you, go look for those things that are the other relationships in life. But hopefully not until. There's great value in not doing that until you go, I'm good with me and me for right now.
So, to any of us, whatever those things are, whatever it is we look up to, whatever it is we look forward to, and whoever it is we're chasing, to that I say amen. To that I say, all right, all right, all right. And to that I say, just keep living, huh? Thank you. See, happiness is an emotional response to an outcome. If I win, I will be happy. If I don't, I won't. It's an if-then, cause and effect, quid pro quo standard that we cannot sustain because we immediately raise it every time we attain it. See, happiness demands a certain outcome. It is result reliant. And I say, if happiness is what you're after, then you're going to be let down frequently and you're going to be unhappy much of your time. Joy, though, joy is a different thing. It's something else. Joy is not a choice. It's not a response to some result. It's a constant. Joy is the feeling that we have from doing what we are fashioned to do. It is just as important where we are not as it is where we are. Look, the first step that leads to our identity in life is usually not, I know who I am. I know who I am. That's not the first step. The first step's usually, I know who I am not. Process of elimination. Defining ourselves by what we are not is the first step that leads us to really knowing who we are. South of New Orleans a few years ago, and I went to a voodoo shop, and they had this wooden partition against the wall with these columns, and in these columns were all these vials of these magic potions, right? And the headings above each potion defining what they would give you were things like fertility, health, family, legal help, energy, forgiveness, money. Guess which column was empty? Money. Let's admit it. Money is king today. It's what makes the world go round. It is success. The more we have, the more successful we are, right? Now, I would argue that our cultural values have even been financialized. Humility is not in vogue anymore. It's too passive. It's a get rich quick on the internet, richest 15 minutes of fame world that we live in, and we see it every day. But we all want to succeed, right? So the question that we got to ask ourselves is what success is to us, what success is to you. Is it more money? That's fine. I got nothing against money. I don't. Maybe it's a healthy family. Maybe it's a happy marriage. Maybe it's to help others, to be famous, to be spiritually sound, to leave the world a little bit better place than you found it. Continue to ask yourself that question. Now, your answer may change over time, and that's fine. But do yourself this favor. Whatever your answer is, don't choose anything that will jeopardize your soul. Prioritize who you are, who you want to be, and don't spend time with anything that antagonizes your character. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, man. It tastes sweet, but you will get cavities tomorrow, all right? Life is not a popularity contest. Be brave, take the hill, but first answer that question, what's my hill?
There's a responsibility to freedom, and that there is freedom in responsibility. You know, and that earn your way there. We remember the stuff we earn, the stuff we experience, more than what the teacher tells us or what someone gives us for free. We just do. We broke a proverbial sweat on it, whether it was mental or physical or whatever. We built it. We understand. We felt how we got it, how we achieved it, how we got what we wanted. Those stick with us. Whether we forget them intellectually, they were written in our lineage, and they build resilience, and they build a healthy, true optimism going forward to know that, oh no, I've worked for something before and achieved it. Delayed gratification. Oh, there are choices I can make today for myself that will pay me back later in life. So there are choices we make. If you're going to say right now, I'm going to lie, cheat, and steal to get what I want, and I got it. I got an immediate green light for me. That's a battery-powered green light. That's not a solar-powered green light. Why? Because now, everywhere I go, I got to look over my shoulder to see if someone's there that I lied, cheated, and stole from. And when I'm doing that, I'm stealing whose time? My time. I'm not free. I don't have the freedom. I didn't create freedom in my future because I chose to make an irresponsible act that I left crumbs. I've now got reasons to look over my shoulder. And the more things we do to create in our future that we got to look over our shoulder, the more of our most precious thing we have in our life's time that we're stealing from ourselves. So it's not puritanical. It's just like, it's actually self-serving. It's a very selfish choice. And I'm a fan of the word selfish. I've helped redefine it. But I believe that there are selfish choices we can make that are the most selfless, that there are selfless choices that we can make that are the most selfish choices. Those two are not a contradiction, and we see them that way. Responsibility is appreciation of a past. It's building of a lineage. It's investing in ourselves. It's investing in something we started to build yesterday that we want to take into tomorrow. There's a response that gives us freedom.
So be brave, have courage, and when you do, you get stronger, you get more aware, you get more respectful, of yourself and that which you fear.
I graduated high school with the #4 grade point average in my class. However, I went to one of the lowest performing schools in my state. I never had any homework, never had to study, never had to apply myself. I never was pushed. People always looked at me like, how do you make it look so easy? Well, to me it was easy, but unfortunately, that's the exact opposite of how the real world works. See, in the real world, nothing comes easy. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the blood, the sweat, the tears. If it doesn't hurt a little bit, if it doesn't sting a little bit, if it doesn't make you a little uncomfortable, you probably won't get very much out of it. When I arrived at college, I quickly realized that I needed to study and really put a lot of time into it. But mentally, I just wasn't there. I was living way too reckless. I was nowhere close to being focused. Those poor choices led me to drop out, and instantly, I found myself in survival mode. Heard a wise man say, if you fail to plan, then naturally, you're planning to fail. And what I take that to mean is, each and every day, you're executing some type of game plan. That game plan is either gonna lead you to massive success or massive failure. And see, what the 18-year-old me fresh out of high school failed to realize is that it wasn't going to be easy. It was gonna require me to be all in. It was gonna require me to apply myself. Something I'd never done in high school. Something no one around me had ever encouraged me to do. And that's why I'm encouraging you to dig a little deeper, to give a little bit more, to try a little bit harder, to go that extra mile. And understand that the reason why you're taking those classes, the reason why you're trying to get that degree, is because you are trying to design the lifestyle that you want to live. You're doing it for your future self. Because when you make the decision to stop progressing towards your degree, you're setting yourself up to live in survival mode, when your goal should be to get to thrival mode. No excuses. This is your life. You got to have a reason. You got to have a why. So when you don't know why, just remember, every step you take, every move you make, all of your daily actions are either leading you to success or they're leading you to failure. They either lead you to win or they lead you to lose. The choice is yours. So you get to choose. Don't be like me. Please, don't be like me. Living in survival mode is no joke. Survival mode is tough. So please, take heed and avoid the route I chose by any means necessary. I admit I was young, but life doesn't give you a pass based on your age. I need you to really listen. From the ages of 18 to 30, you should be eating a lot of ramen. Gary Vee would say you should be eating a lot of I won't say that. But you should be comfortable being broke. You should embrace the struggle as you work hard in school or on your business to design the lifestyle that you want to live in the future. I bet you didn't know that the average millionaire is 62 years old. And only 1% of all millionaires are under 35. So I want you to visualize the struggle of my life, or the struggle of other people who made similar choices like me. Mentally stressed and emotionally drained. All because we wanted to do it our way. But our way set us up to live in survival mode. And you're trying to design a lifestyle. So when you find yourself in that place where you want to drop out, you find yourself in that place where you want to give up, you find yourself in that place where you want to quit, you find yourself in that place where you want to throw in the towel, you hear that negative inner voice saying things like, I'm homesick, I don't want to be here, I'm broke, I can't take another test, I can't stand my professor. Just remember, if you walk out on school right now, you might be walking out on your future. And you cannot get that time back. So whether you're in school or not, time will keep on ticking. But one thing is for certain, whatever you're doing right now, whatever you're doing tomorrow, is leading you to your future life. It can be a great life, or it can be a hard life. Remember, the choice is yours. So I implore you to take a moment and think. I implore you to remember these 5 things I'm going to tell you right now as it relates to your future self. It's not going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. I always say, I could have took the easy route. But there is no easy route. So number 1, you've got to be patient. But the problem is, in this day and age, nobody wants to be patient. Everybody wants instant gratification. We're living in the microwave age of social media. When you post something, you immediately want a successful response. How many likes I get? How many comments I get? How many followers I get? Patience is a virtue. And life could care less about social media. Success is a slow grow. And at times you'll feel like you're not making any progress. But you gotta keep grinding. You have to take it one day at a time and let one day become 2, and 2 become 3, and 3 become 4, and a week becomes a month, and a month becomes a year. And before you know it, you're arriving at your desired destination of graduation. So please, keep exercising your patience muscle. Number 2, I want you to see the success. I want you to visualize yourself in 10 years. I want you to visualize yourself in 20 years. Do you like what you see? How much money are you making? What kind of car are you driving? How big is your house? See, it all leads back to what you're doing right now. Your present self will set you up for whatever you have or don't have in the future. See, you're the architect. So you create the design. You create the layout. And right now, you're simply building the foundation. And if your foundation is strong, meaning you're executing your plan on a daily basis, the day will come when your original blueprint turns into the castle of your dreams. So you have to see the success, because when you can visualize the greatest you in the future, it gives you something to work toward. It motivates you. It empowers you. It empowers you to push through even when you want to quit. It empowers you to push through even when you want to give up. It empowers you to push through when you feel like you can't take no more. It empowers you to push through no matter what obstacles life throws your way. Number 3, make sure you're hanging with winners. Surround yourself with a winner circle of positive influences and positive people. You can't run with the cheetahs if you're walking with the turtles. If you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Are the people that you're hanging with every day serious about going to class? Are the people that you're hanging with serious about going to the next level? Are the people that you're hanging with serious about being successful? Number 4, build relationships. You don't go to class every day and not build meaningful relationships. Later on in life, these are the same people that may be able to offer you a job. The same people that you may go into business with. The same people that may own the bank that you request a loan from. So make sure you're adding value to as many people as possible. Be likable. Show genuine care and concern. And please make sure you're not burning bridges. Number 5, don't let relationships break you. Relationships control our mental state way too much. She broke up with me. He left me. Why is she ignoring me? He cheated on me and I don't know what to do. I can't function no more. I can't go on without this person. Yes, you can. You have to. You must. You're not the first person to be part of a relationship that ended. You have to love you some you. You have to find a way to make sure that you believe in yourself enough. You believe in your heart of hearts enough to make sure that you don't let a relationship break you. So never be surprised at the actions of another person, and always, always save a piece of your heart for yourself. And never allow relationships to break you. This is your life, so make sure you're respecting your personal brand. This is your life, so make sure you avoid doing detrimental things that lead you to living in survival mode. This is your life, so make your future self proud by working hard to tap into your wildest dreams of being great. So ultimately, you designed a lifestyle of greatness that you were born to live. This is a great day to win.
I never said when you want to succeed as bad as you want to eat, because you can go 21 days, maybe 30, but without eating. I never said when you want to succeed as bad as you want water, because you can go about 3 days or so without it. I said when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And so one of the things I want to do for you as an educator today, you don't necessarily need better skills per se. That's not what you need. But what some of you need is to go from 70% to 120%. Some of you need to go from 80% to 120%. The reason why I'm giving 120 is because your daddy's not in your life. The reason why I'm giving 120 is because your father's in prison. The reason why I'm giving 120 is because your mom is working 2 jobs. The reason why I'm giving 120 is because your grandma's raising you. The reason why I'm giving 120 is because you live in a community where education is not valued. So I don't care what you do academically, when you leave here, you can't go and get credit for getting A's. That in your neighborhood, in your community, nobody affirms you for reading at a certain level. Nobody affirms you for doing well on your ACT or your SAT. Where you come from, education is not affirmed. So even if you are a scholar, you have to keep it to yourself. You have to suppress it. So the reason why I give 120 is because your daddy's not there to give 80, and your mama's too tired to give 100. And your grandma is washed out, so she's giving 50. And y'all do that little stuff about you gonna eat, but y'all ain't got no doggone motor. You get tired quick. You practice for 1 or 2 days, you roll out. You do a couple hours, you tired. But yet you compete against people right now, that's their lifestyle. And you think they about to let you take their lifestyle? I don't want to do it as much as I want to eat. I don't want to do it as much as I need to drink. I want to be the best in the world as bad as I want to breathe. I want to be the Michael Jordan of education. I want to be the LeBron James of education. And I ask you the question. I ask you the question today, are you giving 120? I never said when you want to succeed as bad as you want to eat. I never said when you want to succeed as bad as you want water. I said when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I told my professor, what happens if I fail? He said, what happens if you pass? I said, but what happened if I don't get it? What happened if I put in all these years and it don't work out? He said, but what happens if you put in all these years and you get it? You got skill and you got will. You got skill and you got will. 2 total different things. You were born with certain things, but to get to the next level, and not just get to the next level, to stay at the next level, you gotta have will when you get to that next level. So when you play, you have to compete. When you have an opportunity, why would you give 80% when you have an opportunity? Somebody answer that for me. Y'all talk. Why would you give 80%, 70%? Why wouldn't you always give 120%? For real, you might get it, but right now what? Oh, I can't hear y'all. You may get it, but right now what? You don't have it. You have nothing to fear. Guys, you already overcame all kind of stuff. Because a lot of you don't see that what's going to take you to that next level that's going to separate you from everybody else, because you got to have something that separates you. What's going to separate you from everybody else? Right? I don't know what that is for you, but just talk about it. When you hear my videos, one of the things you notice that separates me from everybody else, I don't do what in any of my videos? I don't curse. You've never seen me cuss before. You've never seen me drink before. You've never seen me smoke. I'm not against drinking and smoking, but my brand is I don't drink, I don't smoke. What are you going to do to separate yourself?
Like, I do things to separate myself from everybody else. The passion that I have when I speak, the grind that I have when I do what I do. What are you going to do to separate yourself? People you're not even going to be hanging out with. All I want to hear is E. They grinding like they never grind before. Johnny, I want to hear they out there handling that rock like E. They monsters, E. They like freaks out here, E. Like, they going hard, E. That's all I want. What's some more stuff that's keeping you from doing what you're supposed to do? I love it. You have an opportunity of a lifetime. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is, when you understand you have an opportunity, you play a little different. I wasn't successful because of who I was. Like, and a lot of y'all, for real, here's what you gotta stop doing. You hold people to the fire when they don't do what they're supposed to do, but you give yourself a pass. Like, and you gotta stop doing that. Like, I see in this generation, people will let their kids get away with stuff that I know you wouldn't let nobody else's kid get away with. But sometimes when you're so close to something, you don't treat it you don't treat it real. Like, you give it a pass because it's your baby. But if somebody else was to get on your couch and do that, you'd have a fit. Or somebody. So what I had to start doing was saying, you gotta stop holding other people to the fire, you gotta hold yourself to the fire. And I realized that without a schedule, I was the one that was messing up my life. And I realized I needed a schedule because I wasn't the brand to get me where I wanted to go, if that makes sense. Like, that version of Eric Thomas would never make me a 1%er. I realized that. So when I sat down with Warren Buffett, 3 things that blew my mind. I never really realized where his money came from. So the first thing I did was I was like, yo, his money comes from investments. Well, what happened was, when he was 12 years old, his father gave him his first grand and let him make an investment. So I realized he's not getting up early in the morning just to get up in the morning. What he says he does is he reads. He doesn't just read books. That's not what he does. He reads financial reports. So this dude was telling me he read a financial report of General Motors in like 1964. And I'm thinking, like, why would you be reading? It's 2014. He was reading the document, the financial, listen to me. He's a financial genius. What was he reading? Finances. For real, y'all be coming up to me like, yo, E, what you reading? Why? You trying to be a motivational speaker? You trying to be the next Martin Luther King? You trying to be the next Mother Teresa? Why are you trying to read what I'm reading? Like, what are you trying, like, you trying to impress somebody? Why are you reading what I'm trying to read if you're not trying to be me? He was not reading Mother Teresa. He wasn't reading about leaders. He was reading a financial report from 1964 General Motors. Why? Because General Motors had one of their successful financial years in 1964. And so he was looking for the clues of what were they doing specifically in 1964 that can be duplicated in 2014. That's what he was looking for. So a lot of you getting up early because ET get up early, but you getting up early for no reason. You just up early. So be careful that your routine is pointing to where you're trying to get to and you're not wasting time. So I'm looking at Warren Buffett. He says he reads 6 hours a day. He reads financial documents 6 hours a day. That's the first thing he does, 7 days a week, 6 hours. But watch this, you go, ooh. When you read something for 6 hours times 7, that's 42 hours, right? That's 42 hours a week, right? I don't know how many hours that is a year, but guess why he makes the best financial decisions? Because all he's doing is financial stuff. That's, he putting in 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 hours. If you're gifted in 3 areas, then that means you're gonna have to get 30,000 hours just to be like basically a master. But what if you did one thing and got 30 hours of information in just that one area? You guys got 10,000 in 3 different areas. So while you got 10,000, I got 40, 50,000 in one area. What? Speaking. And guess what the disc is? The disc is still going further into personalities. It's still the same exact thing. So I'm putting more hours on top. So the routine is important because eventually it's going to make you a beast in one particular area. That's why you need a routine, because you can't trust yourself not to get off track. That routine is going to keep you on track and make you a 1%er.
Come on, kid. This is your dream. You said you wanted to be great. You said you would never be broken. You said you would give everything you had. You made a promise to your teacher. You made a promise to your mama. You made a promise to your daddy. But you never made that promise to yourself. This is your life. It's time for you to get busy living. Because for far too long, you've been getting busy dying. So what's it going to be today? Will you sleep? Or will you leap? Will you take that leap of faith? Will you jump? Will you put yourself in a position to land softly on your bed of dreams? I know, the fear got you shook. It can never happen for you. Yes, it can. I need you to believe in you because we believe in you. Your mama believes in you. Your daddy believes in you. Your peers believe in you. I know. But you had one encounter with a doubter, one encounter with a naysayer, one encounter with a hater, and you let it break you. I need you to believe in yourself. I refuse to let another person make their impossible mine. And I need you to do the same thing. Refuse to let another person make their impossible yours. I need you to chase your dream. And if you run fast enough, you just might catch it. So now it's time for you to pick yourself up and start trying, because the strength within you is much stronger than the force that's trying to break you. Everything you need to go to the next level, you already have inside. The will, the strength, the passion, the heart, the desire. And you never have to accept the mental shackles, the mental chains. I'm telling you from experience, you always have the choice to power through and make that necessary change. Never let the darkness block the rays of sunshine that are reserved for you. Because winners find a way, losers find an excuse. Oh yeah, you will get hit. You will get cut. But true champions get up off their butt and keep grinding. And they refuse to lose. And they never, ever, ever give up. This is your life. Come on, kid. This is your dream. And I need you to be Team You. Yes, you can. I need you to find a mirror. And I need you to look at yourself. And I need you to say to yourself, I know I can do this. This is my time to shine. I am more than a conqueror. I am an overcomer. And I refuse to let this life break me. Success is mine for the taking. See, it's okay to mess up. Just don't give up. Never let someone who allowed their dreams to die kill yours. They gonna talk. But I need you to block out their noise and go do some more to put yourself in a position for the magic to happen. Put yourself in a position for greatness to knock at your doorstep. Put yourself in a position for you to rise to the mountaintop. Put yourself in a position for you to arrive at your destination of next level. Because from this day forward, your new and improved mindset says, I will make the impossible possible. I will make the unbelievable believable. See, when struggle is present, growth has to be right around the corner. You gotta grow through each and everything that you go through. And anybody that's ever achieved at a high level will tell you that's the mindset they had when they broke through. Don't quit now. You're just getting started. Keep pushing. Power through. And eventually, you will break through. Don't pray for every day to be sunshine. Pray for the mental toughness to push through when your days are the darkest. Come on, kid. You can do this. If I overcame everything I went through, I promise you, you can too. I got it out the mud. All the slime, all the crud, all the grimy. I'm from the hood, and where I'm from, on my block, they tell you that you can't achieve. That went in one ear and right out the other. And I said to myself, I refuse to let another person make their impossible mine. Just because they can't see your dream doesn't mean it's not possible. This is your dream. This is your passion. This is your mission. This is your purpose. I need you to turn your passion into action. Crush excuses by dominating with massive execution. Come on, kid. This is your dream. Fear can't live in a space that confidence occupies. I need you to believe in you. Setbacks in life will make you want to scream, but they are part of the journey to success. So keep going. Never give up, because this is your life and your dream. If you really want to be successful, if you really want to go to the next level, if you really want to prove all your doubters and haters and naysayers wrong, you have to be willing to disappear for 6 months. You have to be willing to disappear for 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, as long as it takes for you to metamorph into the brand new you. See, the mindset of greatness is what will allow you to stay inside while you're trying to put yourself in a position 6 months from now to come back outside a brand new human being. Make the world remember your name. Make the world say, wow, what in the world have you been doing? It's discipline, discipline, and more discipline. The great Zig Ziglar says, self-discipline is doing within while you're doing without. Oh, you don't believe that it can happen for you? You don't believe that if you disappear for 6 months and come up with a game plan and execute that game plan, that you can change your life?
Sure, you can talk about it. Sure, you can plan it. Sure, you can write it down. Sure, you can go to the conference and hear about it. You can read about it. But at some juncture, you have to disappear and put the work in and come back and shock everybody that doubted you.
I chose to sit my butt down and get to work and grind hard each and every day and celebrate the small wins along the way. And let one day become 2, and 2 days become 3, and 3 days become 4, and 4 turned into a week, and a week turned into a month, and a month turned into 2 months, and 2 months became 3, and 3 became 4, and 5 became 6. And when I showed myself, the world knew I had been working. I knew I had been working. I was a different animal. I was a different beast. And it's now time for you to unleash your beast to the world. But first you gotta shut yourself down for 6 months.
You have unfinished business. You got work to do.
And so one thing we are going to have to get crystal clear about is that if I failed, then I can win.
talking to that track star. I'm talking to that athlete. I'm talking to that student. I'm talking to the person who failed the exam over and over and over again. I'm talking to that individual who feels as though all hope is lost. If you are still alive, you've got something left. Thomas Edison, he was fired from his first 2 jobs. His teachers coined him stupid, that he couldn't learn anything. This is the man who invented the light bulb the first 1,000 times he failed. But he was never a failure. He just found 1,000 ways that don't work. You're no Thomas Edison. You didn't try 1,000 times. Try 1,000 times and then come talk to me and tell me you're not enough. Tell me you don't have what it takes. Tell me you're stupid. Tell me you're dumb. Tell me you're slow. Tell me you don't have enough. Whatever pushed you to the ground, whatever knocked you to the floor, from that place, I want you to look it in the eye and tell it. Tell that person, tell that circumstance, tell that place, tell whatever it is that knocked you to the floor, you can't keep me here.
But up until now, you haven't taken the necessary steps to put yourself in a position to win. The next level awaits, but it will require you to shut yourself down. Put yourself in a room, get out your pad and paper, and start writing each and every goal that you have down, and start coming up with a plan and start executing that plan. Oh yeah, you're gonna fail, you're gonna fall, you're gonna have setbacks, you're gonna have adversity, you're gonna have things that slow you down. But that's why the word revise was created, because it means you have to go back and sit down again and revise and restructure and realize what worked and realize what didn't work.
If you're going to understand the program of resiliency, we are going to have to stop running from difficult times. Stop praying that the storm will pass over you and pray to grow through the storm. Stop going around it, go through it. What you go through, you will grow through. Some fights are not won in the first round. Flat out. And the moment that you get that and you get crystal clear and you accept the fact that there are some giants that you will not defeat in the first round. You're not going to hit the million with the first investment. You're not going to hit the home run at first swing. But resiliency says, I belong here and I deserve another shot. I want my opportunity. Give me my opportunity.
See, the mindset of success embraces the difficult days. It keeps grinding because it knows that in the end, all of the hard work pays. Hard work pays off. But if you commit, if you have self-discipline, and you do the things you need to do on a daily basis, 6 months from now, greatness will arrive. 6 months from now, the world will see the new and improved you. 6 months from now, you will walk with a confidence. You will walk with a swagger. It's time for you to ghost the world. It's time for you to disappear for 6 months. Will it be easy? No. That time period will test your mental. That time period will test your will. That time period will test your inner strength. But I'm telling you, you're not the first person to go through something. You have to go through something to get to something. I'm disappearing, y'all. I'll see y'all on the other side. Next time y'all see me, you won't even recognize me, because I'm gonna radiate the greatness that lives inside of me. Disappearing for 6 months will be the best thing that I ever do in my life.
There's no rearview mirror. You cannot look back, only look ahead. I need you to endure the sour taste of now, to get to the sweet taste of later. Disappear as a mess and reappear in 6 months, ready to live life at your best. This is a great day to win.
Listen up, guys. I know there are a lot of people out there that always seem that they want to go back or saying that they have to get back to something. The goal is to move forward. Don't ever get yourself in a position where you feel you have to always go back or saying that you have to get back to doing what you used to do or getting back to what you had before or whatever. The goal is to move forward. The best thing you can do is try your very best not to fall off track.
It's one tweak away. It's one adjustment away. It's one modification away. I know it hurts, but you'll be healed once you make this move.
You can't wait for somebody else to make your life better. You got to make your life better. Now, I'm not saying forget the rest of the people. You got to focus on you.
Everybody wants to win, and everybody wants new zip codes and area codes, and everybody wants impact and influence. But if I don't have adaptability, I'll never have my future.
Who said it's supposed to be easy? It takes grit. It takes tenacity. It takes sacrifice. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. This is not a pity party.
The necessary growth strategies, necessary modification, personality adjustment, attitude upgrades, the necessary. The wise adapt themselves to the circumstances, like water molds itself to the pitcher. Change is one of the necessary laws of life. Remember this: action and adaptability create opportunity.
Anything that comes your way, you got to be prepared to accept the challenge and go through it. Don't lay on your back. If something's on your chest, get it off. As long as you're breathing, as long as that heart is pumping blood, you're not dead yet. They haven't put rose petals on your box yet. Make sure every breath you take counts for something. Don't you give up on life, because once your life is over, you can't come back.
You've behaved like this long enough. You've been triggered long enough. Come on, you've had buttons for too many years. And people have been given permission long enough to push your buttons, to trigger you, to punk you, to corner you, to box you in, to put the lids and put the labels all over you. And you have just conformed to this place of misery. It's time to break through. You've lost long enough. You've been in your learning season long enough. It's time to apply.
It is not about worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, because guess what? Tomorrow doesn't owe you or me anything. As a matter of fact, tomorrow has already made up its mind. You have this moment. You can't worry about yesterday, because yesterday is not coming back to look for you. Whatever you had the chance to do yesterday won't come back. But you have this moment. You have this chance to do something great with this life that you have been given.
At some point, you got to sit back and think to yourself, you know what? I've been here too long. I've thought like this too long. I've hurt too long. I've been fractured long enough. I've been broken long enough. I've been mad long enough. I've been depressed long enough. You know what? I've been here too long. It's time for me to go. We all have to get here where we realize we have not adapted to the current times. This is not losing yourself. This is finding your next level. The question is, are you willing to adapt? Adaptability is the bridge to the future. I need to be able to adapt cognitively. I gotta be able to adapt emotionally, my personality, my behavior, my language, my thinking. I've got to be able to adapt, and it is only when I'm willing to accept this reality that I can have my future.
We all got a responsibility. We all got to be accountable. We all got to put in work, but don't give up. Because there's somebody out there right now that is hurting. There's somebody out there right now that is struggling. There's somebody out there right now that's got it a little bit tougher than you do. So why are you gonna give up now?
Adaptability is not buckling under pressure. Adaptability is not losing your moral compass. Adaptability is raising your voice. And so the harder life hits me, the harder I'm going to fight, the harder I'm going to believe, the harder I'm going to keep pushing, I'm going to keep going, I will persevere, and I'm going to build resilience. And so the harder life hits, the stronger I get. It's the group of employees that's been called to work 2 more hours. It's the team that's been called to win a championship in the snow or rain or sleet, or the weather's changed, or now all of a sudden the crowd is no longer cheering your name. Can you adapt one little tweak in the game? And there is a future for your family. And this is the power of understanding that if I can make a few tweaks, if I can make a few adjustments, if I can see this thing just a hair differently, there are champions that win by a hair because they made an adjustment. People all over the globe who have made adjustments, who have adapted to a circumstance, who have adapted, who have modified and tweaked their game and beat on their craft and got the trophy. You got to start thinking about the future. You've got to start thinking about sustainability. You got to start thinking about future generations.
It's time to understand that if you want to get something out of your life, you got to be willing to work for it. How much are you really willing to give? Are you prepared to hurt? Are you prepared to struggle? Because if you're not that person, then lay back down. Stay where you are. Don't move forward. Move backwards. But if you are the person that you say you are, we don't have time to wait, because time doesn't owe you anything. What you gonna do?
But rather than going back, learn from what you've done and continue to move forward. That is the ultimate goal. Because the further you keep pushing yourself back to what you want to be or what you should have been or what you need to have been doing, it slows you down from the progress that you have waiting for you ahead. So ladies and gentlemen, get to work, be productive as always. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to go back. Keep moving forward.
Adapt and overcome, and watch everything change before your eyes.
It's gonna hurt. Sometimes it's gonna get tough. But when it get tough, you get tough. Just make sure you make your mark. Make sure you make your mark in this world. Because somebody didn't make it today. But you did. Keep living. Keep living strong. Don't give up.